whatever. And so I think it's important that we hear the stories you're telling about people graduating and making their way in, in this
Yeah.
technological jungle that we're in at the
Yeah.
moment.
Imposter syndrome is real. The things that, like, this is in our DNA, the struggle, it's the genetic pass-throughs of just all the pain and trauma we've been through as a people in this country. And so you think that, you're not good enough because of the color of your skin, because that's what the country tells you.
Yeah,
So,
constantly.
right. So you need to surround yourself, and that's what we do. We surround our youth, our community, with others who have been there, done that, making it, making $500,000 a year, making millions a year. And when they see that, I mean, even when they see me, because I own a software company that I literally started just to get rid of imposter syndrome, but also started to make money and start to get, build apps and things for the community. But when they see that, then it changes things. Because it changed me when I saw, like, those that look like me doing this work. I was like, oh, okay, sis, like,
Yeah.
it definitely changes you.
Yeah. Cassie, I never knew you were unhoused, ever.
Yeah.
You're such a
Yeah.
glamorous, you know, vivacious, glamorous, confident lady. I never knew that, and I would not have guessed that. How does that inform
Yeah.
the work that you do?
I think it gives me an edge, the fact that, I was homeless and as a teenager, I've been able to relate to teens and, just what all that comes with, being homeless and you're a young woman is one of the hardest obstacles to
Yeah.
try to navigate, so having gone through all that, I think it humanizes me, when I walk into these classrooms and I'm like recruiting these young kids really to come into tech. They're like, oh, it's not just for nerds who've had perfect lives, it's, you can come from anywhere. And you can come from anything. Our best engineers like had the lowest grades in school, so
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, always. Our
It's
best engineers did not do well in school.
the Einstein syndrome. People who get
Hmm.
kicked out of school and then go on and
Hmm.
change the world. We're talking with
Yeah.
Cassie Betts, and you're welcome in 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. Live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And how fun. We've been trying to do this for the longest, but Cassie Betts is with me. She is our resident tech genius here at KBLA and is an entrepreneur in her own right. Forbes dubbed her the woman turning South LA into startup land, the visionary behind South LA's first tech center and leading the charge for the South LA Best Buy Teen Tech Center, and lots of other projects. Cassie Betts is with me. And we're talking all things tech. So I got to ask you about this issue of, safety, right? When we talk about social media, I have mixed feelings, and I don't mean to be hypocritical, but I think that there's so many good things that come out of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and and X, which is the capacity for organizing, people learning a lot of things. My kid reads a lot of stuff, which is actually informing him. But on the other hand, you have this tracking of suicide rates and the bullying, that the algorithms seem to bully teenagers more than others, body shaming, all of these things. And now you add AI into that, and a lot of folks are just scared. Are we more scared than we should be, or not as scared as we ought to be?
You should definitely be concerned. We should approach with caution. Then in everything we do, because every time something new happens, just think about just in the history of mankind, every time something cool and amazing comes out that helps us, there's always people that use it for bad. There's good and evil, and everything. So, we should definitely be concerned, but, use it for the pros or you will get left behind. So there's that. If you don't adjust and go ahead and engage in AI safely, you will get left behind. Like everybody's using ChatGPT, which is changing, lives. I mean, it's my agency, that we started, Maine and South LA. It's 10x our productivity, overnight. So if we don't do it, the other agencies will be doing things so much faster than us. And,
so in order to be competitive right now, you have to use AI, is what you're saying.
In everything you do. Yeah. Just like when Google came, when Google came, it was a cheat, the schools wouldn't allow it. Do you guys remember that? The colleges wouldn't allow you to use Google to write your paper, but now we all do. We use Google for everything. But that's how, it happened. Like when ChatGPT came about, it was the same thing. Like, a lot of schools wouldn't allow it, or still don't, I think. But they will soon, and it'll be the norm. And then everybody will be on that same playing field. Yeah.
What about the hallucination piece? I don't know if that's the right word, but where AI just makes stuff up. If it can't find the fact, it'll just fill in the blanks. That seems a little worrisome when if what we're talking about is AI being as common as Google, and everyone's just using it to write papers or novels or letters, whatever,
Yeah.
What about that? I mean, it seems like we could get sort of embedded into our body of knowledge, a whole bunch of stuff that ain't even true.
Right. I mean, it's, again, just like Google when it came out. You can't just believe every article that is there online. You have to fact check it. You have to know where it came from, who wrote it. So with AI, very similar. Like, as the person writing the papers, AI is just your tool. It's not what you should use forevermore in order to, do your work. You have to use it as a tool to help.
Right, just like you shouldn't copy paste a whole article as your paper from Google, but you could use you can cite articles that you find there. Right.
And it's so obvious when, like even my students or, my employees, like just completely use AI to write like a marketing strategy. I'm like, you didn't put any like of your own effort in here. I could tell, you can just tell because it's kind of bland and vanilla,
Yeah.
You just know, so yeah, people have to use it, but we still need human brains.
Me and my child have this running joke about our robot overlords because so many things that they can't do, like, you use GPS and and if you're not paying attention, it will take you where you're not going. My Siri cannot find any black names in my address book. She can find Sally Brown, but she can't find Quenisha, right? For some reason. That to me, and we laugh, like, you can't even find, LaTanya. How are you going to take over the world? Do you share Elon Musk's concern that AI is this menace to the world?
Well, the thing is, we've had AI for a really long time. I mean, it's not new, decades.
Right.
Ever since we could use facial recognition near our thumb, AI is in everything. It has been for a really long time. It's just evolving. It's the new trend word. I mean, 2 years ago was NFTs, and now it's
And where
AI.
are those now? I mean, did NFTs tank? Are they still a thing?
It's looking grim. It's
that's what I thought.
Grim. I saw it, and I still think there is a space for them. They're gonna have to like rebrand it, literally call it something else.
Give it some different initials. Come up with a different
different
part of the alphabet. Okay, but so you're saying AI's been around for a long time, like, and you gave the examples of fingerprinting data and stuff. But I had a friend tell me that a lot of what people are calling AI are just chatbots. And what's the difference?
The difference between, it's definitely a difference. AI is a lot more, more intense than just a chatbot. A chatbot is it definitely has AI components into it. There's machine learning, there's artificial intelligence. It's beyond what, I don't want to get too technical, but
yeah.
There's simple AI and then there's super complex AI.
Okay.
And you do have to be concerned. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we should be concerned. We should be careful. There should be some checks and balances and not just go in crazy. But I think what's important is that, just like you mentioned, Siri can't find Quenisha, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever name you said, in your contact list, because we as Black people, we're not the ones building this AI. We're not the ones programming this AI, and that's the problem. The fact that the first face recognition couldn't recognize Black people, that's a problem. So I think instead of, shying away from it, we need to go towards it. Otherwise, we're going to have more problems like that if we're not creating, the actual program, if we're not programming it.
You can find Cassie every weekend, Saturdays at noon, Talk Tech to Me Uncut with Cassie Betts. And, I love your show, and I love your contribution to the station. And when we come forward, I say that because the clock. We're right up against news, traffic, and sports. But also to encourage folks to listen to Cassie at noon on Saturdays. But, I feel like the law and the lawmakers have not caught up with the technology. They haven't even caught up with Google, let alone AI. So what ought we be doing? I mean, we see lawmakers making speeches and beating their chests about all the terrible things that are happening with social media, tech, and our kids. But what ought they be doing about it? We'll get to that next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. At least 23 people are dead as severe weather has impacted parts of the central and southern U.S. Sunday saw the most active severe storm day so far in 2024, with thunderstorms and high winds hitting parts of the Northeast Monday. Meanwhile, much of Texas, the central Gulf Coast, and southern Florida will be facing dangerous heat over the coming days. Changes are coming to an historic cemetery in Virginia's Henrico County. Woodland Cemetery is a 107-year-old Black cemetery, and the Woodland Restoration Foundation has been working on improvements after decades of neglect. Brush has been cleared and a fountain has been restored. Their work will be on display Saturday in a ceremony where an historic marker will be unveiled. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and VINnews.com.
Need money for the holidays? Avoid the yikes before Christmas. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt for a holiday loan on your tax refund, up to $1,000. Early refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Finance charge applies. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Congratulations to the Grambling State University baseball team. They won the SWAC tournament to qualify for the NCAA Division I tournament. Grambling has a first-round matchup Friday against Texas A&M in the College Station Regional. Grambling is the only HBCU school in the NCAA baseball tournament. The Tigers are looking for their first NCAA baseball tournament win. Despite a health scare Sunday on a flight from Miami to L.A., Mike Tyson is still planning to fight Jake Paul on July 20th in Arlington, Texas. The 57-year-old Tyson needed medical attention at LAX after having symptoms of nausea and dizziness on the flight. Tyson is gearing up for his first fight since 2005. The Boston Celtics are in the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 years. They swept Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics await the winner of the Dallas-Minnesota series in the Western Conference. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@kbla1580.com. That's advertising at kbla1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black. At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
My colleague Cassie Betts is with me, and she is on every Saturday at noon. Talk Tech to Me Uncut with Cassie Betts. She's an entrepreneur and an activist, nonprofit owner as well. Cassie, what should these lawmakers be doing? We saw at the hearing at the beginning of the year how they called the big tech on the carpet, Mark Zuckerberg and others, for hours in a hearing, and they all stood up and made speeches, and as far as I can tell, it hasn't led to much change.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one thing they need to do is not make, laws and rulings off of speculation and fear-mongering. They need to hire some more consultants, because some of these questions that they ask, a lot of these tech giants and things, it's clear that they just don't even know how the tech works. So they first need to educate themselves, start there. And then, they should have, I don't know if they have consultants. I'm like, did y'all talk to somebody before you ask these questions? But they can, instead of for example, what happened with the TikTok ban, that was made off, fear and speculation. There was no evidence. There was no basis. It was just based on maybe China could probably use this platform to
Well, they are using
do
it.
bad things.
Right. But here's the thing, Cassie. I was like, this is stupid. If they're going to do that, they also need to ban Meta, right? Because they also sell our data and do all the things that they're accusing China of doing. But I heard Alexis Ohanian making an argument on Instagram where he said that no other country would allow like a broadcast network or something this influential on their politics to be owned by an adversarial foreign superpower. And I thought, okay, well, he may have a point there. You disagree?
I disagree. First of all, like other countries have allowed it. Many other countries, and the ones who don't are socialists, are the things we're trying not to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. And also, you know, I made an argument that if people were so concerned about China having so much power over America, then why is everything made in China? You know, if China wanted to take us out, China could take us out.
I mean, yeah, they
know,
also own a lot of real estate. It is noted.
Exactly.
But
I think they can focus more on like regulation and oversight, you know, consumer protection, like some laws to protect us. I think it's important. Yes, protect us, our data, you know, but they could work towards supporting technology instead of, you know, making it out to be the bad guy. Like, let's understand it. Let's set up rules and regulations for our safety.
I do think that even if that ban, you know, was signed into law, it's not going to go into action. I mean, first of all, it's what it says is that if they don't sell it within a year, then the ban goes on into effect, and then, you know, they're already suing. ByteDance, I guess, is already suing for you know, their freedom of speech or whatever the grounds are, something like that. So the soonest we'd really see a TikTok ban would be several years from now anyway, right?
Right, if they don't sell to an American company, which again just shows. I mean, to me, it's racist. Honestly, like who else did you do this with? Like all the Russian companies and all the European companies that are out here in these tech streets, you know, collecting all our data and
not to mention Rupert
access.
Murdoch, who owns Fox News, which is arguably changed the entire tenor of our political discourse in this country.
Exactly, it's just about power and control. TikTok is very. You know, we see what's going on in other parts of the world that we don't see on Instagram and Facebook, because Instagram and Facebook are U.S. owned and TikTok is not. So TikTok can show like what's really happening. And, you know, I mean, some people don't want that.
Do you think that you're not persuaded by the argument that China doesn't allow the same content on TikTok in China, especially for kids, that they have like educational stuff and our kids are watching booty dances?
Right. Well, do we really want to be like China, though? Like, do we want that type of control over our citizens? Like, China didn't even have, I don't know if they have Facebook now, but when I used to go to China often because when I was in the fashion industry, and they didn't have Facebook. They weren't allowed. There's so many things that China's not allowed because it's communist, you know? Like, so is that who we want to be like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're not even communist. I know we call them that, but they're really an oligarchy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you're not buying any of those arguments. And then what should parents who are concerned about their teenagers, you know, getting messages that undermine their mental health, what should they be doing to deal with tech?
So parents should have parental controls on all their teen phones. I mean, it's a clear, yes, there's privacy and all that. They're a teenager. You don't get privacy. You know, I have to make sure you're safe. You know, so to have like parental controls and to let them know like, hey, you know, I can see what you do. I can see what you talk about. And then have those conversations about safety. Like I always, you know, talk to mine like, you know, who are you talking to? Are these adults? And what are you saying? And I think that's important. Yeah, they should definitely have access to all their kids' devices.
I saw somebody on, I think it was Instagram, saying that kids shouldn't have smartphones until college, that they should have flip phones where they could text you. I know. I kind of laughed too. My kid would have run away from home, but
Right.
I think he would be safer living with me with a smartphone than in the streets with a flip phone. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's a certain age, I think like our kids, I think around 12, 13, middle school was the time when we allowed them to have smartphones. Before that, it was like, where are you going that an adult's not present that I can call, like children who are 5. Where is this kid going that they need their own private phone?
I mean, for me, it's ironic because I was the one arguing, what if it's Columbine? I was arguing that my child should have a phone at 6, but I actually deferred to his father's judgment. In that case, his father turned out to be right, because I noticed that the minute he got that phone, I lost his mind. I lost him. Like, I mean, of course, I didn't lose him. I still have him. I love him. He's a great kid. But it wasn't the same because the phone was always like another character in the room. Always.
But again, we have to, unplug. Like at dinner, we ask them to put the phones up. We all do. Because we are plugged in, as adults. So we all, parents, adults, everybody, we have to just take time to unplug from those things.
Yeah, I that was duly noted as ironic. All these parents telling their kids, get off your phone, and then they're scrolling all through dinner. So I think we have to also discipline ourselves to get off our phone sometimes and give our children our undivided attention so that we can model what it is. Because honestly, I'm the unpopular parent, Cassie, in that I think there's a level of hysteria, which is stupid, where we, I know that there's dangers, but I'm like, you know what? All these parents, to me, a lot of them are hypocritical. They argue and freak out and, have all this hyperbole about the tech being so bad. But in reality, you go on a play date with their kids and the kids are on the doggone computer all day and night. So are you just talking that or... And then, and also it's not fair to only let kids do tech for school and work. They should be able to do it for fun and play too.
Absolutely. 100% agree. It's definitely a place for kids to have fun and learn at the same time. But again, sometimes you need to play outside and run in the grass.
Yeah, right. Don't come back to the street lights. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like... I don't know nothing about the street lights life.
Well, look, when we come forward, I want to get your thoughts on the Biden administration, the antitrust lawsuit that has been put forth against Google. And if, what difference does that make, if any? Is that a good thing in your opinion, a bad thing? What could it do? That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Rizumkizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Cassie Betts Talk Tech to Me Uncut with Cassie Betts airs Saturdays at noon, and she's joining me this morning, sharing her brain with us. So the Department of Justice has wrapped their closing arguments and everything are done in that antitrust suit against Google, and we are going to probably get a ruling from this judge any time now, right, about whether or not Google uses unfair business practices to create a monopoly. It's one judge, Amit Mehta, who has to make this decision and this ruling. There's another case coming down the pipe, another case against Google as well. This one is not a jury trial. I guess there's certain conditions that make you get a jury trial, and one of those is damages. And apparently Google is trying so hard to stop a jury from being seated for their next case that they've offered to pay the Justice Department 3 times what they're seeking in damages in order that there would be no damages so they wouldn't have to have a jury. That's how afraid they are of the people. Cassie, how do you see the impact of this particular action by the Department of Justice, which apparently is one in a long series, right?
Right. Well, I'd like to point out one thing. So as someone who has started tech companies, and started startups, so Google once upon a time was a startup, and their whole job was to, they're like, oh God, we got to win. We got to do our best. We got to figure out how to be the best, right? Okay, so they did that clearly, So I think we have to, a lot of times people look at tech giants as like the big bad guy or girl,
Right.
And it's like they're just trying to win, right? So now, fast forward, they're winning, and they're winning big. And I think I'm not opposed to what's happening because it is like monopolies are bad, right? Because for us, the rest of the people, when there's a monopoly, they can charge whatever. They own it. They run it. There's no, the smaller businesses lose. So I think that what's happening is it needs to be regulated. I'm not against it.
Yeah, I mean, I know they've got another one against Apple, and I'm a Mac enthusiast. Like, I use a lot of Apple products, much to the dismay of my child. But it is true, they're constantly changing the plug and this and that, and the operating systems that become incompatible with earlier models. It's like they force you to just buy and buy and buy, and there's this planned obsolescence that I just hate.
Right. Agreed. 100% agreed. Like the fact that your phone just won't work after a certain time is by design.
Right.
Absolutely. I think it's just a fine line of allowing, you can't be so controlling of these tech companies that they just go somewhere else, Like we need them. And being a tech company myself, I don't want to always be governed by every time I'm winning, the government comes in and tries to like push me down. That's how like I would feel if I was like.
Yeah, but
Google.
they're so beyond. I mean, I don't know. Are you at Google level yet, Cassie? Maybe. I don't know.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But I mean, the thing is, when it comes to Google especially, and I use Gmail, and I've been, I read this article about how one particular journalist got out of Gmail just because they do monitor your messages. And you notice if you write an email to a friend about your wedding, you're going to start seeing wedding ads in your, popping up. That is so invasive. But is that like unavoidable? Is that everywhere, or is it a particular issue with Google and Gmail?
No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Google's doing what everyone else is doing. They're just bigger and better at it at the moment. So someone else is going to come around and be bigger than Google. So yeah, everybody's reading your emails wherever you go. I mean, there's people who there's other companies that pride themselves on being less invasive. But for the most part, it's all about the marketing.
Yeah,
they don't really care about what you're doing other than just the market too.
I have friends that use DuckGo because they say it's less invasive. No? Yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is?
Correct.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder how the search is. I'll have to try it out. And what about? I mean, I try not to get caught up in hysteria either. But I mean, it seems like we're basically all naked in the middle of La Brea at this point. I mean, because we're all using so many. You use unsecured Wi-Fi. We're doing a lot of, at least most of us do a lot of financial transactions on our phones, and then they're scanning our emails. Is there digital hygiene we should be practicing that actually helps, or do we just throw up our hands and say, you know what, woohoo, look at me, I'm naked in the middle of La Brea.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I always say, like, hey, if somebody wants to take you out, they can get you. We're not safe. We're not safe out here in the tech streets, but you can be more cautious. Like, just don't ever. I think the number one thing is like, don't click links. Like even if like your mom sent you a link, like, Mom, did you send this link? What is this link? Like every time my friends are sending me links, I'm like, did you send this link? What is this link? Because once you click a link, then it's just, you can get hacked very, very easily. So that's probably the number one thing is, even if like you think Chase sent you a message, I always just would go to my bank. I would go to Chase Bank straight to the app or to the website. Don't click a link that was emailed or texted to you ever.
Okay. If I email you stories, Cassie, I'll tell you. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, because once the genie's out of the bottle, you're in for a long and arduous road back, right?
Yeah. It can be hard to get back.
Okay, I got a long list of questions, so we're going to have to do a part 2. But I'm reading that one of the things we're fighting with China about is this influx of cheap and high-quality smartphones that they're trying to flood the market with. And I've been hearing about that from friends of mine who, like you, would travel there, and they would come back with some, $100 phone that does everything the iPhone does. Is that coming soon?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, there's cars. There's all kinds of things that are not sold here, sold abroad, that are kind of killing it. So I feel like they do want to keep those out, but I don't know how long they'll be able to keep those out. I was literally just looking at an SUV made in China that floats on water for $150K.
Wow.
I was like, oh, right.
And
I was like, oh, they're coming. But we're going to want that, aren't we? Like, as American consumers, don't we want the best deals, the best tech for the best price?
Absolutely. And also, that's supposed to be what capitalism does. And and thirdly, with the way the climate emergency is, we might need our cars to float on water.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, because everything's flooding, especially here in California. The San Diego area was flooding recently. I live in Santa Monica. It was flooding. There was like rain for days, So
yeah. Well, I live in South LA, but I'm thinking it won't be long before that is a beach community. Cassie, tell us how to keep up with you on all the tech.
On all the tech, you can find me at InstaBetts. Insta BETTS is my last name. Our website is Made in South LA, madeinsouth.la. We actually have some animation, a really cool animation boot camp coming up this fall, and we'll be giving scholarships. We'll be giving out 50 scholarships for this animation boot camp. So they could just scroll to the bottom of our website, madeinsouth.la, and look, there's a link for scholarships, and people can sign up. It's age 13 to 26 in the South LA area. So if you have youth, they can sign up there. And we are also at Talk Tech to Me. TalkTech2.me is the website, on Instagram, on TikTok, on all the things.
And what are you covering this Saturday?
This Saturday, I actually don't know yet. I was just talking to my team, like, what are we going to talk about?
Oh,
we're usually ahead of the game, but this Saturday I don't have a guest book, and we don't have it together yet.
That's us all the time. But we get something together by the time it's airtime. She'll have something amazing for you. TalkTech2.me or or Made in South. LA. Love that. Yes. Cassie Betts, thanks so much for being with me for part 2. Hopefully you'll be all healed up and we'll be in studio.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate all of the work that you do. It makes a huge difference. Tavis Smiley's up next. Y'all know that. He's got his Monday on a Tuesday show for you. A full lineup of great content for you today. Oh my, oh my. I'm going to, in honor of the children who were murdered in Rafah this weekend, I'm going to quote my dad on the way out the door, Mary Baraka. He says, a man is either free or he's not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. At least 23 people are dead as severe weather has impacted parts of the central and southern U.S. Sunday saw the most active severe storm day so far in 2024 with thunderstorms